We're live. Okay. All right. Forgive me. We'll try to have a shorter sermon today because I know that you guys are all very hungry. And I said that last Sunday, and my wife scolded me because she said, you said you were going to have a short sermon, and then it was long. It's like, it was short to me. Anyway, today we've kind of been preaching a lot of sermons at the end of Gospels, and today it's John's turn. We're at the end of John's Gospel, and the lectionary reading draws us up just short of the end, but I'm going to take us all the way through to the end. So we're going to look at John chapter 21, and we're going to go from verse 1 through 25, okay? And we'll kind of quickly move through it. I'm not going to belabor it because it is a lot of text. So let's look at John 21. It's the whole chapter. Jesus appears to the seven disciples. After these things, Jesus showed himself again to the disciples by the Sea of Tiberias. And he showed himself in this way. Gathered there together were Simon Peter, Thomas called the twin, Nathanael of Cana in Galilee, the sons of Zebedee, and two others of his disciples. Simon Peter said to them, I am going fishing. They said to him, we will go with you. They went out and got into the boat, but that night they caught nothing. Just after daybreak, Jesus stood on the beach, but the disciples did not know that it was him, Jesus. Jesus said to them, children, you have no fish, have you? They answered him, no. He said to them, cast the net to the right side of the boat, and you will find some. So they cast it, and now they were not able to haul it in because there were so many fish. That disciple whom Jesus loved said to Peter, it is the Lord. When Simon Peter heard that it was the Lord, he put on some clothes, for he was naked, and jumped into the sea. But the other disciples came in the boat, dragging the net full of fish, for they were not far from the land, only about 100 yards off. When they had gone ashore, they saw a charcoal fire there, with fish on it, and bread. Jesus said to them, bring some of the fish that you have just caught. So Simon Peter went aboard and hauled the net ashore, full of large fish, 153 of them. And though there were so many, the net was not torn. Jesus said to them, come and have breakfast. Now none of the disciples dared to ask him, who are you? Because they knew it was the Lord. Jesus came and took the bread and gave it to them, and did the same with the fish. This was now the third time that Jesus appeared to the disciples after he was raised from the dead. When they had finished breakfast, Jesus said to Simon Peter, Simon, son of John, do you love me more than these? He said to him, yes, Lord, you know that I love you. Jesus said to him, feed my lambs. A second time he said to him, Simon, son of John, do you love me? He said to him, yes, Lord, you know that I love you. Jesus said to him, tend my sheep. He said to him the third time, Simon, son of John, do you love me? Peter felt hurt because he had said to him the third time, do you love me? And he said to him, Lord, you know everything. You know that I love you. Jesus said to him, feed my sheep. Very truly I tell you, when you were younger, you used to fasten your own belt and go wherever you wish. But when you grow old, you will stretch out your hands, and someone else will fasten a belt around you and take you where you do not wish to go. He said this to indicate the kind of death by which he would glorify God. After this, he said to him, follow me. Peter turned and saw the disciple whom Jesus loved following them. He was the one who had reclined next to Jesus at the supper and had said, Lord, who is it that is going to betray you? Then Peter saw him. He said to Jesus, Lord, what about him? Jesus said to him, if it is my will that he remain until I come, what is that to you? Follow me. So the rumor spread in the community that this disciple would not die. Yet Jesus did not say to him that he would not die, but if it is my will that he remain until I come, what is that to you? This is the disciple who is testifying to these things and has written them. And we know that this testimony is true, but there are also many other things that Jesus did. If every one of them were written down, I suppose that the world itself could not contain the books that would be written. All right. Now, there's a number of different things we can touch upon in this block of Scripture, and I preached over this 3 years ago. And in that sermon, I touched upon what I think is really one of the main points that we need to take away from this and understand from it, and that had to do with the three "Do you love me's?" And you notice the front of the bulletin is the sheep, which is a reference to that "feed my sheep." And it's an important aspect of that. It's the counter to the three denials, is what's really going on there. And it's interesting because what's doing is Peter is being reestablished into the fold. It's reconciliation with Jesus, for want of a better word. And you look back into it, and I don't often like to skip from one gospel to the next, but I am going to do so today. Because that's one of my prerogatives. I can do something that I don't generally do, or something that I may not like to do. But in Luke, in the 22nd chapter, we have Jesus saying to Peter, just before the betrayal, "Simon, Simon, Satan has asked to sift all of you as wheat, but I have prayed for you, Simon, that your faith may not fail, and when you have turned back, strengthen your brothers." Jesus already knows he's going to turn. But the question is, he's telling him in advance, when you turn back, I'm going to use you to strengthen the rest. And that's not just the rest of the disciples. That should be all of us when we see this falling away and this welcoming back. And that should be an important part. Now, when Jesus is talking about this, do you love me? It's important also to realize the words in Greek that are being used that don't come across to us in English. When Jesus is asking Peter, "Peter, do you love me?" It's, "Peter, do you agape me?" Brotherly love. And Peter answers back, "Jesus, I phileo you. I love you like a friend. We have a deep friendship." It's not quite the same distance. Now, some commentators will dismiss that because they're saying that in John's gospel, when he's talking about the disciple that loved God, that Jesus loved, it starts off with phileo and it goes to agape. But I look at that as that's that relationship evolving. And that's what Jesus is trying to get Peter to do too. He's trying to get him to evolve that relationship. But the sad part is that the last request, "Peter, do you love me?" Jesus says, "Peter, do you phileo me?" And Peter, of course, is hurt that he asks him again, but he's at the same time, "Oh yeah, I phileo you. I love you like a friend." But that's not what Jesus wants us to get to. He wants us to be like the disciple that he loved. That relationship evolved from friendship to brotherly love. And that's the message of the three denials. Now, I also want to throw out at you a different part of this, and I think my phone is beeping because people are walking in the hallway and I forgot to shut the notification off on that. I apologize. So pay no attention to my phone making noises. But with the miraculous catch, this is often looked at as this is Jesus' last miracle in John's gospel. Just like the wine at the wedding was the first, this is the last. And the idea is that you've got this abundant catch, this 153, which is thought to be an important number. Different people have different ideas of why it's important. Some say that the number 153 numerically is significant. But I think the most likely one is because at that time, in that period of history, there was the belief that there was only 153 types of fish. And the idea is that Jesus is saying that my message is, that John's saying that Jesus' message is for everyone. All are included in the net. So I think that I like that better than trying to piece together these numerical things. But there is a meaning to that. I think that's the meaning. Jesus' message is not just for the Jews. It's not just for the Gentiles. Well, that would be everyone else. It was for all of the nations they didn't even know about at that time. Because guess what? There's a lot more than 153 kinds of fish. And at that time, they didn't even know about the Native Americans. They didn't know about people in South America. They had no knowledge of a lot of different things. Just like they didn't realize that 153 fish, there's probably that many in the Missouri River. So that is part of that message. But one of the things that I read about that was interesting, and it's a different way to look at this, and it's not even a miraculous thing. This catch doesn't have to be a miracle to mean a great deal to us. And when I read this, I went, that's really cool. And it spoke to me. And that was a commentator was talking about that he was in Galilee, walking by the Sea of Tiberias, watching people fishing. And I kind of hope I get to see this. This is going to be, I want to see this. This would be cool to see. And as he's walking along, and he realized it's 100, it's approximately 100 yards. That's a football field length out. But as he's looking out, he realized that he could see the school of fish swimming on one side of the boat. But the people in the boat couldn't see it because of the way the light's coming down and the way the light is refracting through the water. They couldn't see the fish at all. They had no knowledge. And he's yelling, the guy literally yelled out to him, there's fish on the other side of the boat. And so the guy threw the net out. And guess what? Caught fish. Whereas he was fishing from the other side of the boat, he was fishing the wrong way. He was fishing the wrong direction. The message here that to me, and I went, wow, that's cool, is it doesn't have to be a miracle. It means that Jesus, from where he is, from where he's standing, where he is in heaven, he sees it all. He sees through the water. He sees because the way the light's refracting doesn't blind him, but if we're blinded in this world, we don't always see where we need to fish. We're supposed to fish for people, but sometimes we're fishing in the wrong spot. And the thing that we have to do is we have to keep our ears attuned, and we have to stay in prayer, and we have to stay in communication, and listen when Jesus says, the other side of the boat, throw the net there. And that's where you're going to get fish. And so many times you've seen that with churches, that they've tried to do things for years one way, that they're focused on it, because I want to throw that net off the left side of the boat, and I'm only going to fish the left side of the boat. And eventually, for some reason, they think, or they listen, finally, and they cast the net the other direction, and suddenly, there they are. The fish have been there the whole time. You just didn't see them. I think that is so cool. But the thing we have to do, guess what? We have to pray. Okay, where do we fish, Lord? Where do we cast the nets today? And we have to be willing to listen. Because those disciples could have certainly thought, we've been out here all night. What's that fool telling us to throw those nets the other way? What does he know anyway? So let us be in prayer. Let us be in a relationship. Let us listen to the commands of Christ when he's standing on the shore. Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father,